Hey friends, I am going to do a quick string change on this interesting little guitar here that I typically don't see. I don't know if you've seen it before, and frankly, I don't really have Fender guitars on my radar, Fender acoustic guitars on my radar at all, but check this little thing out. It's pretty sweet looking. Can't deny that really the look of it is charming. So this is a Fender Ron Emory Loyalty Parlor guitar. What I know about it is that it is laminate all around, laminate mahogany all around. This nut is pretty small. This pick guard has layers. It's got this like tortoise layer, and then there's a layer of white and then black. So that's a lot of pick guard on there. Almost a mustache bridge. It has this strap button in kind of the strange spot, but there is a block of wood there holding it in. Got the excellent cool headstock here. I'm honestly not convinced about this guitar. It came with what I think are really bad strings on it. I haven't been able to pull a good tone out of it, so before I get rid of it, it sounds terrible, I want to see if it can actually show some of its charm with some new strings. So we're gonna put some EJ16s, and here I ordered some strings from StewMac. I'm using StewMac, my StewMac's membership as my primary source for strings because you get a discount and free shipping as a StewMac's member. I have not been buying luthier tools lately, which is sort of a shame, but aha, here we have, oh, that's all I bought. I bought a 10-pack of EJ16s, and I got myself another set of D'Addario XS's because I am liking the XS's. I want to keep giving them a try until I decide otherwise, but needed to replenish the EJ16s, so went for the 10-pack. We're gonna see how this thing performs with some new strings. Let's get the old ones off. So this guitar's namesake, Ron Emory, not familiar to me, but he was a member of the band TSOL, True Sounds of Liberty. It's a punk band that formed in the late 70s. I am not familiar with their music, so I can't really speak to it, but in the early 2000s or 2010s maybe, 2010 or probably early 2000s, they made this guitar. Quick video that I did find of him back when this guitar was released has him talking about a music conservatory that he is either a founder of or just a big part of, and so he's teaching children and adults music, and it seems like he was really happy about that endeavor, really proud of it. These tuning buttons are tiny. This string is literally like tangled on here in some way that it does not want to come off. I'm going to take the tension off of the first string here while I mess with the B string. I'm going to get some snips because that is really stubborn. Ah, that helped. Great. So these tuners don't seem very high quality. That's one of my first impressions. These pins are kind of neat. They have a flat top to them. They're like cylindrical with a dot. It's kind of sweet. So this body style is, I believe, similar to Fender's PM or Paramount series. In the quick research I'd done, there's not a lot of information about this guitar online. Off to the bag of strings. I did see a review from a Scottish gentleman who mentioned that there are mahogany shims underneath the saddle, and if there were, I believe they are removed. There is no shim under there. So it's interesting, the bridge pin holes, they're reamed out to fit the kind of squarish pins that are there, and they have a countersunk hole. So basically this pin, which Yeah, it has like a double tiered top. Actually, yeah, it sinks in. It's like a countersink. That's interesting. And I didn't show you the binding on this guitar, and it's up on the neck too. Check out that binding. But I think these tuners are pretty inexpensive. Honestly, I think those are the $12 tuners you can get from StewMac. I believe I put this set of tuners on an old guitar once. I would love to find this guitar's sweet spot. It's just so unique and cool. Undeniably a very handsome guitar. The one piece this guitar is missing is on the headstock, the truss rod cover that comes stock with this guitar has Ron Emory engraved into it, and it was not with the guitar when I purchased it. But I like these pins. I like the flat top on these pins a lot. It's a very tiny body, actually a Parlor. I'm not sure what specifications make something an actual Parlor, but I believe that we use the term Parlor broadly, and technically a lot of what we refer to as Parlor guitars are just small-bodied guitars. Got a lot of string on this A post. I overestimated. And the advantage to that is that the string now goes to the very bottom of the post, creating that nice downward angle from the nut. But I overdid it there for sure. I usually like to get the string around twice, maybe 3 times, but typically twice. And as you can see, I'm with my right hand here, I'm holding tension to wind this string with tension. I find it helps to get some of the stretch time out. It gets wound nice and tight, and then I can get more stretch out of it later. What's interesting is this post I had trouble getting the string off, and now as I'm winding the string, it's actually popping. It doesn't want to go underneath the string so that it winds and pushes itself down. It's actually popping up above, which is exactly what happened for the last person, and that gave me trouble getting it off. I don't know exactly what's happening here, but I think this post has a curse. So I'm going to abandon my tensioning hand to opt to get this string to wind below itself. And I already have a crisscross happening there, so I have to back off. It's very strange. This is very strange. Okay. There's that. We're on with 6 strings. So, let's see if we can get this thing tuned up. Alright, she's tuned up. One thing I did not do at the beginning of this video is do a sample of this thing with bad strings on it. So I have no comparison, but alright, so let's see what she sounds like here. I have it tuned down half a step, maybe you could tell. think the nut is quite small on this actually. I might get my measuring tape out again. Is it 11/16? It's an 1.11 nut, but the use of the nut is so tight. Check out how tight the strings. I don't know if you can see, but the strings are far from the sides of the fretboard. Like, there's not a maximum use of the nut at all. Hey friends, it's future me from the next day. This was bugging me a little bit, so I'm going to put the tape measure on the string spacing here. And what we have is a little more than 1 3/8 from the outside of the 6th string to the 1st string. And I'm going to put it now to the Yamaha FS800 that I just did the other day, because again, 1 11/16 nut and 1 and a little more than 7/16, so it's a 1/16 wider. I knew it felt a little bit small, but there you have it, a 1/16. And let's see what it sounds like with the banjo picks on. Okay, there we go. Well, that's a little charming, tone-wise. I'll say it's a little redeemed from my initial impressions and feelings about this guitar when it had the really, really old junky strings on it. I'm not sure what was up with those strings, actually. I couldn't get this thing to hold a tune. I think those strings were either super, super light and really poor quality, or I don't know what else it would be. It's just they were unable to hold a tune, but this seems okay. Of course, it could be the tuners themselves. They, again, don't seem to be the highest quality. Look at that, new strings, funky little guitar, and of course being such a handsome little thing. And it's sounding great with the new strings now. So there you have it, the Ron Emory Loyalty Jr. SB by Fender. Thanks so much for tuning in. Take good care.